Have you ever wondered why two people can have the exact same talent, the same education, and the same opportunities, yet 10 years later, one is financially free while the other is still drowning in debt? It's not about luck, and it's not even about how hard they work. It's about a hidden battle happening inside your brain every single second. A battle over a single chemical called dopamine. Most people are currently losing this battle, and they don't even know they're fighting it. But there is a tiny group, the top 1%, who have mastered a secret psychological skill. It's called the dopamine delay, and in the next few minutes, you're going to understand exactly how it determines your entire financial future. This is the psychology of why the rich get richer, and why your brain might be working against your bank account. The first thing you must understand is the concept of dopamine hijacking. In modern psychology, specifically in studies regarding the brain's reward system, we know that dopamine is not the chemical of pleasure, it is the chemical of craving. It is the anticipation of the reward. We live in a world designed to harvest your dopamine. Every notification, every fast food ad, and every buy now button is a psychological hook designed to trigger an immediate release. Most people suffer from what psychologists call present bias. This is a cognitive bias where we overvalue immediate rewards and undervalue future ones. When you see something you want, your prefrontal cortex, the part of your brain responsible for logic, gets bypassed by the limbic system, the primal part of your brain that wants satisfaction right now. The 1% have learned to recognize this itch. They don't fight the craving, they observe it. They understand that the high of buying something new lasts for minutes, but the psychological cost of a depleted resource lasts for months. They have mastered the art of the 72-hour rule, a simple psychological barrier that allows the emotional spike to settle before a decision is made. The second pillar of this mastery is the Marshmallow Effect, based on the famous Stanford experiment on delayed gratification. Researchers found that children who could wait for a second marshmallow instead of eating the first one immediately grew up to have significantly higher credit scores, better health, and more successful careers. But here is what they didn't tell you. It wasn't about willpower, it was about strategic distraction. The successful children didn't just stare at the marshmallow and suffer. They turned their backs, they sang songs, they occupied their minds with something else. This is exactly how the wealthy manage their money. While the average person spends their weekends scrolling through digital storefronts, exposing themselves to constant temptation, the master of the dopamine delay removes the stimulus entirely. They don't test their willpower, they manage their environment. They understand that willpower is a finite resource, like a battery that drains throughout the day. By the time you get home from a stressful job, your battery is at 5%. That is when you are most likely to spend money you don't have on things you don't need to impress people you don't like. The 1% protect their decision energy by automating their savings and investments so the choice is made before the temptation ever arrives. Third, we have to look at the hedonic treadmill. This is a psychological theory that suggests humans have a base level of happiness. When something good happens, like getting a raise or buying a new car, your happiness spikes, but then it quickly returns to that base level. Most people spend their lives chasing that next spike, constantly increasing their lifestyle to keep the high going. This is why you see people earning six figures who are still living paycheck to paycheck. The master of the dopamine delay practices what is known as lifestyle lag. They intentionally keep their expenses at the level of their past self, even as their income grows. They find their dopamine in the growth of their assets, not the consumption of their goods. In psychology, this is a shift from external validation to internal mastery. They don't need the car to tell the world they are successful. The knowledge of their own security is the reward itself. They have reached the level of emotional independence, where the opinions of others no longer dictate their spending habits. The fourth element is understanding hyperbolic discounting. This is a psychological phenomenon where it's farther away a reward is, the less real it feels to our brain. This is why it's so easy to spend $500 today instead of saving it for a retirement that is 20 years away. To your brain, your future self feels like a stranger. In fact, fMRI scans show that when people think about their future selves, the brain reacts as if it's thinking about a completely different person. The 1% have a rare ability to humanize their future. They practice vivid visualization, making their future security feel just as real and urgent as their current hunger. They understand that every time they overspend today, they are effectively stealing from a stranger they are destined to become. They treat their future self with the same empathy and care they would give to a best friend. This shift in perspective turns saving instead of a punishment into an act of self-love. Finally, we must address the dopamine baseline. When you are constantly flooded with high-intensity hits from social media, shopping, and instant entertainment, your baseline for what feels good rises. Eventually, normal life feels boring. Building a business feels boring. Investing for the long term feels boring. The 1% intentionally practice dopamine fasting. They embrace boredom. They understand that the most profitable actions in life, compounding interest, deep work, and long-term planning, are inherently slow and unexciting. They have trained their brains to find pleasure in the process of building, rather than the act of having. Mastering the dopamine delay is not about depriving yourself of joy. It is about moving your joy from the temporary to the permanent. It is about realizing that the most expensive thing you can buy is your freedom. The world will try to keep you in a cycle of instant hits because an impulsive person is a profitable person. But the moment you learn to sit with the craving, to wait, and to choose your future over your now, you have already joined the 1%. Success is not a destination. It is a psychological habit. It is the ability to wait for the second marshmallow. If you've made it this far, you are already practicing the patience that most people lack. You are training your brain to seek depth over distraction. If this video helped you see your own behavior in a new light, consider subscribing to join our community of those who choose to see what others miss. Every week, we decode the hidden patterns of the human mind to help you take back control. Are you the master of your dopamine, or is it the master of you? Think about it. Have you ever met someone who seems to notice everything around them but rarely speaks up? There's a fascinating psychology behind this behavior. These individuals are often highly observant and thoughtful, choosing silence over reaction to process information deeply or avoid unnecessary conflict. Understanding this mindset can help us appreciate the power of quiet awareness and the strength found in listening more than speaking. Watch this video next.